what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at one of my filming spot locations, and guess what? We have an electrified Silver Star for you. This is it. This is a 2023 all-new Mercedes Benz EQE 350 4MATIC. But before we get into this full-on luxury, full-on electrified sedan, let's talk about what's going on here. Mercedes Benz, they've been doing the business for decades, and think about all the changes that they have seen over the years. Well, of course, we're in the midst of a big change when it comes to full battery electric vehicles. This one being new to their lineup. Obviously, they're trying to compete with brands like Tesla, BMW, Audi, and all the rest of the pack that is now going into that fully electrified forum. Now, it seems there's a lot of different interpretation on how it should be done. Mercedes-Benz thinks that they have hit the nail on the head with the EQE. Now, if you look at this sedan, you say, well, Joe, it looks familiar. This is the little bit smaller version of the EQS. So that was their first electrified luxury sedan. The EQS, that's their flagship. This one is a mid-size, and this is sort of like an E-Class, just with it being electrified. But what I want to find out is this the best new luxury sedan to buy? And is the EQE worth the price at the end of the day for what you're getting, both luxury, style, technology, and performance? Let's dive into our 2023 EQE and find out. Right off the bat, the shape. It gets your attention whether you want to give it to it or not. At the front of the business, you're going to see some of that connection with the EQS, and that makes sense because EQ is like a sub-brand. Whenever you see that, you know it's going to be electrified. They did a great job on the headlight housing. The overall shape, you got new digital LED headlights, your turn signals, daytime running lamps. Love the style and how it integrates into the center area. Working your way down, this looks like a Mercedes-Benz. Gloss black, a little bit of shiny chrome. You're going to get your horizontal slots, and then you have functional air curtains, because remember, part about getting a high range in a battery electric vehicle is about that low drag coefficient. The only thing I'm going to zonk is the way that they do the fake grille design here, just like they do on a regular E-Class. I wish they would just keep it smooth. I don't know why they do that, because they're not fooling anybody. This is not a functional vent here, but I do like the way the rest of it is functional. Now, as we come across that low slung nose, they definitely have brought their own interpretation to what low drag means and how they're gonna move their brand into the future. You can see this large area gloss black actually has the Silver Star throughout to make it have some style without it just being regular gloss black. You are, of course, going to get the iconic badge, that Silver Star in the center with the exposed chrome ring, and then you do have your forward-facing camera nicely placed in that bottom portion. The way that they shaped this lower area, it is functional, and it does match nicely with what they're doing on their other Mercedes-Benz vehicles, but you do have a liquid cooled lithium-ion battery pack, so you do want to bring some air into this area. Even the way they kind of shape things, I mean, like I said, love it or hate it, it definitely has a unique look to it. Now, when you get up onto the low-slung hood, the big zonk is you can't open it. It's actually sealed shut. I was hoping for some type of front-mounted trunk or even a storage compartment. There is nothing, but you do get the Mercedes-Benz logo like you, of course, have on your other Mercedes-Benz vehicles, and they recess it nicely into the hood. And then everything else is going to be super clean right into the A-pillars. Make it real slippery through that air. Now, as we come around the bend, of course, we got some special wheels and tires, and they got those famous 3 letters, AMG. So we have these AMG branded wheels. Simple 5-star design. Look at how thin the spokes are, though. Super thin. This I am a little confused on. Let me know how you feel about these plastic inserts, whether you would zonk them or not. I'm definitely going to zonk them because they look like either a cheese grater or some type of strainer, like you got some pasta and you're straining out the hot water. That's what that design looks like. But I assume that aerodynamically it helps generate that air down the side of the vehicle. You do have large calipers and you do have many different levels of regen braking. Plus we have 4MATIC. What does that mean? That's all-wheel drive from Mercedes. We got a motor up front and a motor out back to get us down the road. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, what's the size of this tire? It's a 20-inch wheel, 255 on the width, and then you have a 40 series sidewall. Now, as we come down the side, I'm actually gonna grab the keys here. Here's our key fob. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna unlock the doors. And the reason why is you're probably wondering, well, Joe, what is this? Is this a charge port door? Watch this. You gotta kind of push really hard. It opens it up. I'm gonna have Steven swing around. Because you can't open up the hood, that's actually the door where you're gonna fill up your windshield wiper fluid. Think about the engineering that had to go through to design this, all because they don't want you opening up the hood. So they give you this door on the side. It's only on the driver's side. I'll show you where the actual charge port door is a little bit later in the review, but very, very fascinating that they did that. Now, you do have an EQE badge, which I think is uncalled for. Kind of just looks, I don't know, a little on the cheaper side, the way they just stuck the letters here. Let me know how you feel about that. So I am gonna zonk that, but I do like the aluminum finish, top and bottom. You are gonna get a nice size panoramic sunroof, and guess what? They black out the whole roof. Flush mounted door handles, that's what they look at like when they pop out. So here they are flush. You unlock it, and then that's where you're gonna have them pop out. It actually says Mercedes Benz on that top chrome piece. Same thing on the bottom. You have the chrome that extends along the bottom with a little bit of gloss black. And you'll notice when you open up the door, they are frameless. So the frame stays with the chassis, and these are your frameless side doors with that big, large glass. Closes nicely. Working our way towards the rear, I'm gonna lock it up. You can see the arrow work that they did with the rear quarter window, and look at how that freaking rear pillar, it's got a sexy sloping shape to it right into the rear area. This is basically a sportback style sedan because of how much of the trunk opens up. This whole back area is gonna open up, but you can see the work they did with the nice aerodynamics, and they made it look like your traditional Mercedes-Benz. And then when you get to the back, I'm actually digging it. This is where you wanna have your badge. On the side, nah. EQE 350, looks clean, looks like a Mercedes-Benz product. You have your LED lighting all the way across, 4MATIC, and then of course, I love the way they take the silver arrow and the silver star, and they use that to actually open up the rear trunk area. But I'm not ready to show you that yet, so we're gonna close that back down, but you can see how quick that is. On the lower side, you can see the arrow work here. You actually have a rear diffuser, gloss black with a little bit of chrome. And then I'm actually gonna have Steven follow me all the way around, make sure it's unlocked. And then here's where your actual charge port door is. And what's cool is you actually have this LED lighting that's gonna light up as you charge it. So charge port door is on the rear. On the passenger side, they did some nice work on the arrow on this back portion. But why don't we go ahead, let's talk about horsepower numbers before we get to the interior of this Mercedes-Benz. All right, guys, it's time to talk about horsepower. Obviously, we have a motor, electric motor up front, electric motor out back. I shut the hazards off and I turned those digital LED headlights on because I wanted Steven to kind of showcase those as I go through the information, since we can't pop the hood because it's locked down. You're looking at 2 electric motors, 288 horsepower, 564 pound-feet of torque. It utilizes a 90.6 kilowatt hour battery pack, direct drive transmission, 0 to 60 in about 5.3 seconds. Top speed is governed to 130 miles per hour, 95 mpges in the city, 100 on the highway, and you have a range of 300 miles. The vehicle weighs 5,488 pounds, and if you're worried about charging, here's the numbers. From 10% battery life to 100% battery life on a level 2 charger, which is a 240 volt, you're looking at 9.5 hours. A DC fast charger from 10% to 80% is gonna happen in 31 minutes. So interesting to hear that 300 number for the range. I'm very curious. Let me know if you think that is enough. I was thinking that, and surprised they didn't go for the 400 with the range in this EQE. But why don't we go ahead? We got it turned on. Let's see it in motion. All right, guys, we're inside this all-new 2023 EQE, getting fully electrified. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I don't want a Model S. I don't want a Model 3. Everybody and their mother has one. I have always been a Mercedes fan. I have a Lewis Hamilton shrine in my house. Pictures, posters, even a Lewis Hamilton figurine. I'm really digging this EQE. How much is it? So the way that this one is optioned, with the AMG wheels, with the rear wheel steering, and everything else that we have, you're looking at an MSRP of $91,000. Let's see what you get for the money to the door panels. Absolutely loving what they've done. You got the lighter gray Alcantara microfiber suede material. You also have that beautiful red stitching, that blue-purple ambient lighting, which is, you could choose from 64 different colors. And then you'll also notice how you have the traditional setup for the seat controls. Nice bright silver adjustments, 3-way memory setting, and they're heated and ventilated. Even around the switchgear for the window, no gloss black. Thank the heavens. And then of course that sexy aluminum speaker grill cover. We got 15 speakers throughout this car. Door pocket is a pretty good size. I would say you could easily get 3 beef and cheddars from Arby's and a bottle of chocolate milk to wash it down. Going from the door panel to the dash, premium wood surface. Look at the way they did the AC vents. Very aeronautical. And then that light bronze, goldish tinge with the ambient lighting, the lighter gray Alcantara with the red stitching. And then we get to the center stack. Now what's interesting is that with this massive infotainment system screen, we actually have the smaller setup. You can get, what they have is a 55-inch all-one screen from passenger to driver and driver to passenger. This one doesn't have it. This has more the traditional setup that you're finding on a lot of new BMW products. So you have this 15-inch screen of an infotainment system, obviously Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, full touchscreen capability, dual climate control. Just hit right there on the screen. Watch this. You want to get into your EQ settings? Very easy to do. We can find out where our charging stations are. Does a little bit of searching because in my area of the world, there's not a lot of charging stations. But you can see it does pull it all up, let you know how far away they are and if people are on them, or also the charging capability of each one. So that's a nice feature. You go to home, brings you right back, and then guess what? We hit the little car icon. You could go into car wash mode. You could do all your different settings very easily, and I love the graphics that they do. Watch this. We then go into dynamic mode. Here's your different modes, just like any other Mercedes that you have. Really, really digging. You got the sounds, the colors, and that's going to adjust how this vehicle drives. And that's it. Let me throw it into reverse. Backup camera, super clear resolution. I could then make my adjustments. Look at this. We can look all the way around. If you're wondering, is it dark on that side because there's a lunar eclipse? No, that's because we have the door open and that's where Steven is standing. It would have been cool to see Steven there and we could, like, you know, maybe use it as a voodoo doll and cause Steven some pain. But he doesn't deserve that right now. He's doing a good job. Put that in the park and we're right back where we started. Working our way down. It does get gloss black heavy in this area. But the good news is most people are going to open this up. And what do we have? 2 USB-Cs, wireless charging, and then of course you're going to have your 2 cup holders here for holding your drinks. And there's a nice place for about 6 Twinkies up front. Hit that button, closes up. Down below, USB-Cs, 2 of them, and you got a place to put your merce, your purse, your sack, your satchel. You can even put, I would say, a 10-pound bag of Red Delicious apples. I really don't like Red Delicious. I'm more of like a Honey Crisp kind of guy, maybe a Fuji apple kind of guy. But if you want your Red Delicious, those are fine. They just get a little mushy for me. I like a nice crunch when I bite into an apple. But I do love the way they have that floating center console area. Of course, we're gonna get the nice leather. Bombs away, open up the doors. You have felt lining. You could easily put, I would say, you know how you made that little figurine of Gumby for your mom when you were a kid in class with clay, and you put it in the kiln and you put the glaze on it and the colors and stuff? You could keep your little Gumby in there. And does anybody remember the name of the horse? You're right, Pokey. That was the name of the horse. Interesting name, but hey, it was an interesting time back then. You keep your Gumby and your Pokey in there, and it's felt lined. Close it up. Seats. The leather, the style is very Mercedes Benz. You're not going to confuse these seats with anybody else. Nice wide lower seat. And then of course, look what we got. The red seat belts. Bright red, extra 5 horsepower easily. And then on top of that, we also have this nice, large, split panoramic sunroof. Really digging that style, but why don't you get your butt over here before this car keeps talking and I'm gonna strangle it. Coming over to the business end, I wanna show you behind the wheel of this EQE. All right guys, business time behind the wheel. You do have your aluminum sill plate and it does light up. That Mercedes Benz logo lights up very nicely at night. You do also have your aluminum brake pedal, aluminum throttle. Don't mind the debris that is not included. That's actually extra, the little grass and branches and stuff. But we do have our AMG floor mats. That's worth another 5 horsepower in this EQE. Other than that, I'm 6 feet tall. Once you swing in, because you got to just watch your head here. Steven's already bumped his head about 15 times. Even with the panoramic sunroof, I actually feel pretty good once you're in it. When you're in it to win it, you're in it. But if you're not, then you're out. But no, just kidding. There is plenty of headroom in here. If you're taller than 6 feet, I don't know. You might want to like hold off on that. Steering wheel, what does it look like? Nice leather. You got the 2-piece all the way around. We got that horn button, which is not my favorite because I wish they would do some actual like stitching, but they didn't. I like the aluminum though, and it is flat bottom for all the flat bottom steering wheel fans out there. We do have some gloss black. It looks just like a steering wheel from an E-Class or an S-Class. These paddles are for the regen braking. You do have different levels of regen braking. And then you have that 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster, all that easy to understand information, easily laid out, even with your battery charge. We're at 64% charge. It is electric tilting and telescoping. And then you do have your column mounted shifter to go into drive, reverse, so on and so forth. But this is the layout in the EQE. Why don't we go ahead though? Very curious what that back seat is gonna be like. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's check out where your passengers are gonna be sitting as you're cruising down the road in your fully electric Mercedes. All right guys, backseat time. And this is where things get really surprising back here. Even though the opening is a little tight and that roof line really slopes aggressively towards the trunk, surprisingly, there's a ton of room back here. Here I am, 6 feet tall, panoramic sunroof, and I actually feel really good. Now the backs of the seats, 1-piece back, you do have a nice large pocket. So you could easily get, I would say, 4 cookie cakes back here. You know, you go to the mall's right up the street, nice hot, warm chocolate chip cookie cake. 4 of those in there. Don't go too big though, because then it won't fit. You got to keep it at the right size. This area though, where the AC vents are, is not very inspiring for the price point. So there's a lot of just regular plastic here. You do have AC vents, and the USB-Cs, what's funny, you actually have to flip this down. Why didn't they just take them and put them here? They had to give you an extra door. I guess somebody, whoever designed this door was really pushing for it. They're like, no, we got to have the USB-Cs down here. Can't have them by the AC vents. That's a big no-no. But anyways, backseat area, you do have heated seats, no ventilated seats for the backseat passengers. Pull this bad boy down. It's like using single ply toilet paper. It's not like a nice quadruple ply or even a double ply. Hit that, Look at that. What is that? You're probably wondering, what the heck is that? You can actually put your phone in here, or what's great is you could actually stand up your Slim Jims. You know, you get those ones from the gas station, but you're not gonna be stopping at the gas station because this is an electric. So you better get stocked up on your Slim Jims before you leave the house. But that's all that does. That's all it is. I don't know why that makes me laugh, but that was a lot of engineering just to have a cell phone holder or a Slim Jim holder, but Slim Jims are important. And then of course you get the red seat belts. No, you don't get an extra 5 horsepower. It's 5 horsepower combined. But why don't we go ahead, let's get in that trunk and see what kind of junk we could haul in our EQE. All right guys, time to get into the rear trunk area. Love the way on a Mercedes Benz, it's so clean. You just hit the silver star, opens right up, nice and smooth. You're gonna be greeted to a little over 15 cubic feet of space, which is actually not bad for a BEV sedan. You'll notice how low the cargo floor is. On the driver's side, you do have the official AMG Twinkie cargo net. Of course, you could put a box of German Twinkies there. And if you're wondering what's the difference between a German Twinkie and a US Twinkie, German Twinkies are chocolate filled. Now, the seats will do the 60-40 split tango. No, you don't have a spare, but underneath the cargo floor, you do have your charging accessories, and they do give you a can of flat fix and a little air pump to get you to where you need to go to get your flat fixed. Interesting how they put the buttons to put down the seats on this top portion here, and to close it, you just do this. Just like that. You gotta hit it twice. They wanna make sure that you are ready to go on throttle, and that's my question. Are you ready to go on throttle? If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go on throttle, or I should say power on, in this EQE. All right guys, we're inside this all new 2023 Mercedes Benz EQE. Right away, you feel like you're in a Mercedes product. I mean, it is spot on with all of the right sensations, the fit, the finish, the design, super smooth and quiet. So right now I have it in comfort mode, and you can hear just how quiet it is in this luxury BEV, basically. Getting to the infotainment is well within reach. You have that lower center of gravity because of where the battery is placed. And then we have the all-wheel drive, which is going to keep us planted and secure. Now, you can, like I said, get that optional 55-inch screen set up in here. That one is going to be mind-blowing to utilize. But what we have here really, really works well. I'm going to show you just how easy it is to go from being an eco, and then now we're going to go into full sport. So you're just going to hit, select on the screen, and now we're ready to rock and roll. Now we're in sport mode. And if you notice, it's going to produce a little bit of sound in the cabin when you go on throttle. So let me slow down a little bit here. On throttle. So you're getting a mixture of what almost sort of sounds like a Tron cycle, for lack of better words, and a little bit of almost sounds like an internal combustion engine in a Mercedes Benz product. So kind of interesting how they chose that overall tone, but very, very smooth. Obviously, all the torque is instantaneous. Let's see how it handles in this right-hand bend. On throttle, here we go. Rear wheel steering, remember? Nice. Regen braking. I told you have different levels. You're gonna just use the paddles. So right now there's no what they call recuperation. Now I'm gonna hit it again. You get intelligent recuperation, or what we could do is go to strong. And it really, when you let off the throttle, it really slows down the vehicle greatly. There is no one pedal operation like in a Taycan. Taycans from Porsche don't have a one pedal operation, but it does brake pretty aggressively in that strong regen setting. On throttle, here we go. But the seats hold you in nicely. I get off throttle, and as you can see, the charge, it's recharging that battery as I'm getting off throttle because of the regen braking. Visibility out the front is good. Out the back, it's really tight. It's like looking out of a mail slot. So it would be nice to have a digital rear view mirror in here. But from a performance standpoint, you're getting good feedback from the wheel. And of course, you're getting some nice acceleration. Now there is the 500, which of course has more horsepower than this one. So it will be interesting to see what going on throttle is like in that vehicle. But the rear wheel steering is simply heaven sent. It allows you to make sharp turns, especially in a parking lot, so easily. And then of course through twisty bits, it's really gonna help you as well. Another thing that I'm really starting to dig is the seating position in here. The dash is up high, but it's very, very unique, that wraparound sensation that they have with the dash. But really just a different experience driving this vehicle, even compared to other BEVs like the Model 3, like the Model S, and the BMWs. But very comfortable, very smooth, very quiet, which is great as well. Of course, like I said, you could pull up those different systems and easily turn them on or off. Go right back to home on the highway. It's just, it's very buttoned down. It's comfortable, but without being too soft. And I'm really, really digging that in this car. And then of course, with the range of 300 miles, that's really where, if those numbers could be obtainable, that's definitely going to be an advantage over an Audi e-tron or a lot of the other key players in this segment. But everything is well sorted in here for sure. Love the way it's got the nice clear graphics for your navigation. If you want to get into your EQ settings to get to that charging station, you could do that. You have, of course, your park assist. Easily pull up the charging station just like I showed you in the vicinity, and there they are. You can hear under the regen braking that sound. Watch. Regen braking. Let's go on throttle together. You ready? On throttle, here we go. But definitely, it takes some getting used to if you're gonna keep the regen braking in that higher setting. But other than that, the great news is all of the different functions in here are pure Mercedes and feels really, really good. Getting to the seat controls are nice and high. You got the very comfortable seats. Obviously, you got your blind spot monitoring, lane keep assist, emergency brake assist, all those different things that are going to keep you and your family safe. And just another option to go with if you want to go full electrification, but also have the luxury side of things as well. But the ease of driving this vehicle and the comfort it provides is just really, really great. Especially, like I said, to be able to change things on the fly to however you want them set up in the vehicle is really, really nice as well. Especially your attention assistant, you could bring up, you could scroll through a plethora of information in that center, including bringing up the navigation. I then go back in to dynamic mode. You could do intelligent, where you could adjust the steering feel, the sound, all of those different things, all within fingertip reach. You even have your climate controls, air quality, the whole 9 yards. And then I didn't get a chance to show you. I might as well show you now while we're sitting here. Here is your key fob. That new style, very, very classy. Feels like it belongs to this type of vehicle. All right, so we're gonna go on throttle once the light turns green. Just show, here we go, on throttle. Yeah, there we go. I'm telling you, the balance is ridiculous in this thing. And to be honest with you, out of a lot of the other EVs, they did a pretty good job with the simulated sound. It sounds like there's an engine under the hood. It really does. But I'm hoping that this has been a nice overall review for you in the EQE, that 350 4MATIC. We're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. It's been an electrifying experience and definitely a futuristic experience in this Mercedes Benz EQE. I definitely want to thank everybody at Mercedes Benz USA for allowing us access to this press fleet vehicle. Let me know what you think. Is it worth the price? Is this the luxury sedan that you want to buy? Let me know in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Radius Rides family. We got to give it up to Stephen Flood, Stephen Flood Photography. He's electrifying everybody's life with his great camera work. Show him some love in that comment section. Thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.